Anyways, welcome back to the channel. Since last week, it's been a really good week. Been having some great meetings with my team for real estate, and really just been diving deep into some of my personal studies of, whether it be religion or self-help or whatever it happens to be. But today I want to focus on a book that my mentor Lewis highly suggested, gave the assignment to read to our team. It was called The Gap and the Gain. Pretty much this book, it teaches us really getting that sense of fulfillment, sense of success, whatever it happens to be. Pretty much with this book, it goes on to explain how in our society, in whatever avenue, subconsciously, we're kind of programmed to really look at the what we're lacking in our lives compared to what we've actually gained. And it kind of talks about how, you have a kid, like just say a little kid, he's he gets 5 pencils or something like that, right? And his sister wants one of them, ends up snagging it and running away, right? He immediately takes all of his focus off of the 5 pencils that he still has to go after the 1 pencil that he's lacking, right? So it's a pretty simple, cliche kind of analogy, it's little kids, but still, it really just kind of puts it into perspective of like, that's kind of been our whole life, is we've focused so highly on, oh, I'm missing that 1 pencil even though I have 5 over here. He's not happy enough to have the 5, so he's got to run after the 6 and totally neglect what he's actually received, It kind of is the same into our lives, right? We set high aspiration goals. We set an ideal of what we want as the quote-unquote perfect success story, the perfect life, whatever it happens to be. And when we fall short, we look at how much we're truly lacking compared to looking backwards of where was I, 6 months ago to where I am now, and how much closer am I to really achieving that goal. And it teaches us that we need to really focus on that gain compared to focusing on the gap. As we look backwards, as we measure backwards, that's the only way that we can feel, and the only way that we really should measure success is by looking backwards into the future. We can't measure success or accomplishments from the future because it's not happened, right? You can't focus on that, or else we're just going to be depressed, we're going to be anxious about it, and we're not going to feel fulfilled by what we're actually doing. When logistically, you look back at what you're doing, and you're probably doing a hell of a lot of things to really become successful. The gap is just a goal, right? We set goals, but the way they put it is it's not necessarily a goal, it's an ideal, where you're never going to achieve that ideal. I was telling this analogy to one of my good friends, and he kind of puts it in a different way of like, say like you're going to the gym, right? And after the gym, you just got this huge pump, you're looking good, your arms are looking fine, and you're like, dang, if I could only have this pump, all the time, I'd be so happy. And then you continue to go to the gym, and eventually you do hit what you were hoping for is like that pump, that becomes your physique all the time. But then your mind just continues, I want the next pump, I want the bigger pump, and it never is satisfied, right? And it was like a cool analogy to hear from him. I was like, you're so right, dude. Like, so many of us are like, man, I just want bigger biceps, I want bigger arms, I want bigger chest, and like when you do get a good pump that day, it's like, man, if only I could have this. And then you keep going and you're consistent, and then, man, if only I could get the next one. Where we're not really taking a step back and looking at what we've really accomplished, because you have gotten there. So we need to have those steps to really bring us back into the gain. Whether it be, just really taking a sec and breathing and, okay, let's take a look back to our morning. What have I really done today? That was my biggest gain from the day. Maybe I reached out to an old friend and rekindled a friendship. Huge gain right there, right? It's a huge gain, even though it's not like a best friendship that you could ever have, but you've rekindled something to that point. Or, I went to the gym consistently 5 days a week this week. You know, I didn't hit all 7, but I did get 5, you know. Just taking a step and really looking back at like what we are really accomplishing each day is those steps that we're going to take us to get back into that gain mindset and really feel like you are making a difference in your life, you're being successful, and it's really gonna bring that peace and fulfillment into your life instead of us constantly just not feeling successful and constantly just going for the next thing, you know. So yeah, that's kind of been my biggest, you know, excitement recently as I've been studying that book that he assigned us to read, and it's been one heck of a journey for sure. And like I catch myself even just like the last year, you know, last year I was traveling, I was doing all these things, and you know, really feeling like I didn't feel like I made a huge difference. But now looking back, I'm like, dang, if I would have had a better mindset in the moment of me being in those foreign countries teaching little kids or things like that, like it would have made that experience that much better, you know. So that's ultimately like my goal for the future, is to really just like embrace the moment, really, you know, take a gain for what it is. You know, we're not, even though it's not perfect, you're really gaining experience from each and every day. And you know, that's my downfall. And like, you know, I can look back at last year and really be like, okay, well, I have totally changed and totally improved since then. And you know, now each experience that I'm having each day, you know, whether it be real estate or, you know, doing videos like this or whatever happens to be, I really get way much more of like a feeling of fulfillment because I am looking at the gain. You know, I am gaining more experience. I am gaining more of a presence of like speaking to people like through a camera or whatever I'm doing, you know. And I would have never thought I would be doing this like last year, you know, and not really having the presence of mind to being open enough to going out of my way to do things and, you know, giving it my best shot, even though it's, you know, it may, you know, maybe there's only like 10 viewers of this or 1, whatever it is. But you know, that whoever you are, you're worth my time of going out of my way to teach you this and share my experience, you know. And I hope it's meaningful. I hope it enlightens you guys. I hope it gives you fulfillment and helps you gain that fulfillment into your life and feel like you're being a successful person. And you know, I hope and pray that, you know, we build a strong community together. Leave comments down below, you know, subscribe, send this to your friends, whatever it is. Like, really, I just want this to be spread about to people that need it, and really so we can make a difference in this world, you know. And that's ultimately why I make these videos. I believe that each of us has a voice to a certain audience, you know. Maybe it be 1, maybe it be millions. I don't know where I stand yet, you know. I will just continue to be putting out content and things like this that I enjoy, I'm passionate about. And you know, if you vibe with it, great, subscribe. If not, totally fine. You know, it's not for everyone. So I'll catch you guys next week in the next video. Peace.